Hi everyone, today we are going to make reinforced potpourri or accentuated potpourri, if you will. We are going to cheat. This is a great gift giving idea that you can do yourself for a very low cost. First, let's get to the supplies that you're going to need. Alright, number one, you need the potpourri. You can either collect it yourself or you can cheat like we did and we went to the local dollar store and purchased them these size for $1 a piece. And if you're doing it yourself, you can, collect it and then it'll be unscented. There's also places like craft stores out there that have unscented potpourri that you can create a mixture yourself using your own special blend of essential oils. So again, you need your potpourri, you need a glove if possible, metal bowls, and your essential oil. The most expensive part of this is the essential oil, but it goes a long way, especially when you're buying the 100% essential oil. The blends cost a little bit less in most cases because they're blends. Something to stir it with. If you're giving this as a gift, then you're going to need something to put the potpourri in. Also, Ziploc bags, the gallon size, are fantastic for making big batches and storing them where the smell doesn't go away so quickly. Unfortunately, I don't have a big metal bowl, so if it alters the scent just a bit, there's not going to be much that I can do about it this time. We didn't want to make you wait for this video. I do want to say that the majority of our essential oil is going to be right on the potpourri, so that should help. Alright, so first things first, we're going to use a glove, and I said in a previous video, I learned something new. When you're working with essential oils, you're supposed to use a metal container. We don't have one big enough, so we're not going to be able to do that. Now we're going to make one of the little sachets, and the rest we're going to put in Ziploc bags, and then we will make the rest for our gift giving needs closer to the date, because we want it to stay really fragrant. So please, girl, will you throw this in our little bag? Dump that out. I think especially during the holiday season or the Christmas season, they've got a lot of the pine scents available, pumpkin spice. They're easily found during this time of year. I'm going to put one more bag. This has got a nice blend to it, and for $1 you can't go wrong.
Yeah, curly.
I did not want to come out. Got it. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side. Again, the tools you're going to need are your essential oil, your potpourri, scented, unscented, whichever you prefer. If you're going to make these as a holiday gift item, you may want to store them in like a Ziploc bag before you make the sachets. We're just going to use some tulle. And actually for our Christmas gift giving, we're going to use leftover tulle to save even more. But for our intents and purposes to show y'all, we're going to cut a piece from here. And as always, we have a phone call.
Yep.
I just know that's going to go off again.
So good.
Oh well. Alright, if you have a wooden spoon or any type of utensil you'd like to use that you use just for your creations with essential oils, you can use that instead of your hand. We've got some gloves here, so we're going to do that. But that's all it takes. Something to put your stuff in, like we're using tulle. You can pick something else. I just like it because it's got the holes already, so it releases the fragrance easily. Alright, it's got a little bit of a fragrance, sort of.
In nutshells.
But not enough for my liking. Okay, you're going to ask me, how much do we add? That's going to be based on how strong you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it again. Got it. I'm going to start with the 4th teaspoon. And these, it came with a whole set with the measuring cups and everything for $1 at one of our local dollar stores. So just for your notice, You can find a lot of things at these places. Vanilla is one of the more expensive fragrance, or essential oil, excuse me, that I've found. And I'm almost out. So, and we're just going to sprinkle it.
Mhm.
All right, Cookie. Now you... Don't be afraid of it. Get in there. Get out. And one thing too, when you're using it in a Ziploc bag, you know, for storage until it's time to make it into a gift, it really traps that fragrance and allows it to saturate throughout. I'm going to add a little bit more. You can also make this citrusy scent or lavender.
Oh, like a coconut. Not a coconut, an egg.
I like to get all my essential oil. So I'll find these. And you just stir it with your hand, making sure that it gets all the way throughout. Try not to make a mess like I did.
You look out for these thingies.
Ah, yes, take that out. Alright, and that's all you do. You just gonna add your essential oil, add the amount that you want. I ended up using half a teaspoon. And I think it's pretty strong. What do you think?
Whoa.
Oh yeah. But remember, it's going to be spread throughout. This is really concentrated. So half a teaspoon. This is really makes it really strong. Okay, so that's all you have to do. Now we're going to put the majority of it. I'm going to close up my essential oil. We're going to put the majority of it in our Ziploc bags. Unfortunately, I ran out of gallon size, so we're going to have to put it in the small bags. That, and just start putting it in. And make sure that you really close your Ziploc bag, okay, if you really don't want this to escape. I'm having trouble talking today, I apologize. Escape instead of escape.
Escape. Now I'm confused by escape or escape.
And what you can even do, you know, depending on if you've got crafters in the family or anything like that, you can give it to them like this, along with one that you've already created real pretty with some ribbon and a, you know, in a bow form. Because I do a lot of creating, I have a lot of things you might not have unless you do this all the time. Don't worry about it. So use what you have. You know, don't go out and buy all kinds of things if this is a one-time thing for you. So I've got, yeah, we use household things. We've got some rubber bands here. I don't know if you can see that. And they're for the braids, or we've got a almost 18-month-old, so we do her hair all the time. And then I'm just going to use this little 1/8 inch ribbon to make a bow on the sachet that we're doing. Alright, so we're going to take the tool, and I can use my good scissors so I can cut it. Now, I like this roll size. Now, most of my tool now is on bolts because it's easier and more cost effective. But I kind of like this for the small sachets that you're going to put in your drawer, you know, where your undies are, your drawers, because it's not too big. And I'm going to cut an oversized piece, okay, a little bit longer than probably necessary, just to be safe. Because you can trim it. Once you've already closed it up. Okay, so I'm going to scoot this stuff over that we're not using so you can see what we're doing. Cookie Girl, you have your piece. Okay. Alright, and what we used was the vanilla, what kind is that?
Vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla potpourri, and then we added some more vanilla to make it stronger. And all you're doing, still use your gloved hand, And especially, guys, if you're sensitive skinned, make sure you go get some thing of gloves. Save yourself some itching or swelling up or anything like that. Because also, if you're buying the potpourri already made, you're not quite sure what's all in the mix. Right? And you're not going to put a whole bunch. This may be too much because, like I said, this is going to be for the inside the drawers. Now, when you're making it for the wall as a hanging, or you'd like to make it into a pillow or anything like that, a bigger size one, you can put a lot more. So you're just going to bring it up to the middle. Grab it by each end. I have to do that every single time she's pulling some out. Basically what you want to do is you want to pull it all up. And see, I've got too much too. I like the leftover tool from a bolt because I can add more and it's all the same size, Okay. Well, mostly because I'm not a perfect cutter. Anyway, so just bring it up. Make sure you've got all of it. Squish it at the top. Kind of twist it a little bit just to make sure you've got all of it bunched up together. Grab you a rubber band that I've already misplaced. There you go, sweetie. Oh, guess what is hard? Opening the rubber band with gloves. Alright, so you've got it all bunched up. Now you're going to take this little rubber band and you're just going to tie it up like this. And you don't have to use these rubber bands. I just find it a lot easier than having to hold this up, try to tie my ribbon, make a pretty bow. I just have too much trouble. So I'm like, you know what? Let me eliminate the frustration and use these inexpensive little rubber bands to make sure I've gathered it all up. Okay. Got it? And see, I've seen a spot where I have left some of it out. But since it's a rubber band, it's already on there. So I can just pull it out. Okay. And you can leave it like that. Let me see, you got yours?
I'm just going to say it one more time.
Okay. I do that all the time. It's okay. Her rubber band popped. I do it all the time. It's okay. That's why I buy thousands instead of hundreds. Don't leave that there, and then after you tie it with another one for safety, then you can pull it out. So this is a really quick and easy project and a great gift giving idea.
Like if you haven't seen anyone for a long time, you should give them that for the car or for the plane.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, a soothing one. Use some lavender, jasmine, anything like that for a little sachet they can take with them on the airplane. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one thing that's cool is I've got this also. I found at one of the dollar stores. This is not the same. Now, this is one that you're going to want to put up, guys, if you've got children or anybody that likes to play with lighters and matches and fire. I got this at the dollar store, and this does not have a child-proof lock. Now, if you make a lot of hair bows or hair accessories and you need to heat seal a lot, it gets really tiresome, especially on that thumb of yours, to keep on pressing that safety lock, doing that. And then, when you're doing each side, you've got to do that how many, countless times. So this doesn't have that. So just be careful and put it up, away from people that would mess with it. But all I do is heat seal it real quick. I'm going to get you a piece. There you go. Okay, so you're going to tie a knot, or you're going to tie it just like you do a shoelace. And then what I like to do is I like to do it one more time. Just because I want to make sure if that rubber band pops, this is on there secure. Now, you can make a bow.
I should not tie a bow with these gloves on.
hand me your fingers, and I can pull this off. It's nice when you have a partner because then we can put these on without you getting the potpourri stuff and the essential oil on you. Alrighty, so I made a bow. I'm not real fancy schmancy. I'm not real good at bows. I say this on like half of my videos. I'm getting a little better, and I see I've got it a little bit longer on one side, so I'll go ahead and trim that up a little. It's not that big of a deal. But you know, if it were a gift, I'd be more concerned. If it were a gift, I'd be more concerned. But there you go, and you can use any ribbon that you have. You know, I wouldn't go past 5/8 inch ribbon if you're working with the small ones, just because it'll be really hard to, you know, maneuver. Let me show you these two. There we go, and I will heat seal the one I trimmed up. Well, I trimmed up both of them, but they'll both be heat sealed. But isn't that cute? And now this part here, you can leave it like that, or you can just trim it. Totally up to you. Mine's a little shorter. Or you can leave it nice and long. Just gather it up. And you can make it kind of spiky or just straight. Totally your preference, guys. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of this up and finish creating these and putting them in the Ziploc bags. What I do recommend is that you date it and, you know, what the smell is. Unless you want to open it and smell it at a later date, that's fine too. But we're going to go ahead and put the date and the fragrance we have. We've got this, you know, and then you put the bigger one in there. If you're good at the easy sewing by hand, you could do that. Put this in there. And we've got a video we haven't finished editing yet that we made these craft snowflakes, flowers, ornaments. And all we did was buy a little basket. You put a candle. You can put something personalized for them in there. A photo, a decorated photo album, not album, photo frame. I mean, there's a lot of little things that you can do that you add personal touches to that'll make it fantastic for gift giving. Right now, we are working with abcmouse.com, and we want to get the word out that they're offering, which is really great for learning opportunities, a 30-day free trial, and we have the link in the description for you. But you can try it out for 30 days. It's really recommended for anywhere from ages 2 to 7, but I think, you know, can help a little bit younger, a little bit older, just, you know, based on where you are learning wise. We thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you so very, very much for your continued support. It has been an amazing journey. I feel very blessed to have so many subscribers and so many of you watching and sharing our videos. It means a lot. From my family to yours, have a very blessed day. And remember, anything you create is going to be fantastic. Why? Because you took the time to create it.